Pankaj, Business Head, CATV and Chief Strategy Officer, and Mr. Anil Bothra, Chief Financial Officer. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Naval Seth from Emkay Global. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Seth.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome the management and thank them for this opportunity. I shall now hand over the call to the management for the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Naval. Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you to the conference call of GTPL Hathway Limited to discuss performance quarter 4 and 12 months ended March 31st, 2021. GTPL Hathway to continue to constantly deliver on key KPIs. In tough time of pandemic during entire year FY 2021, GTPL remains committed to providing uninterrupted connectivity and entertainment to its customer. The highlights of FY 2021 was growth in subscription revenue for both CATV and broadband business. Strong profitability achieving net debt-free status. Geographical expansion, healthy balance sheet and improving return ratio. We have reduced our gross raise by 693 million in FY 2021 to become a net debt-free as promised earlier. Additionally, the board has recommended to increase the dividend rupees 4 per share for FY 2021. GTPL is geared up to launch new products and services in FY 2022, thereby propelling its value proposition in existing and new markets. With that, I hand over to Mr. Piyush Pankaj, who can take you through the business and financial performance in detail.
Thank you, Mr. Jadeja. Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. GTPL Hathway is one of the few cable TV and broadband company in India to deliver superior performance consistently. Our business model is quite robust and capable of leveraging multiple growth opportunities that this sector has to offer. It is important to note that in the past 5 years, our CATV subscriber base has grown sharply by 2.2x to 7.5 million. Additionally, our broadband subscriber base has shown a significant growth of 3.7x to about 0.6 million. We have been consistently generating free cash flow and have managed to reduce our gross debt by rupees 4034 million in the last 5 years and have returned the money to shareholders in the form of regular dividends. We are delighted to share that GTPL Hathway has achieved net debt-free status during FY 21. The company has reported an impressive ROC and ROE of 35% and 21% respectively in FY 21, thanks to enhanced operational and financial performance coupled with a strong balance sheet position. As on March 31, 2021, our active subscribers stood at 8 million. GTPL's digital CATV services reach 800 plus towns spread across 15 states in India, with Tripura, Meghalaya and Manipur being the latest addition during FY 21. GTPL's CATV platform services own and operate 49 channels across 6 genres. Of the 310 million households in India, only 171 million households, that is, translating to 55% penetration of CNS homes. The CATV industry offers an underlying growth opportunity for an organized and seasoned player like GTPL Hathway. Our CATV business expansion will gain momentum with organic and inorganic growth in the coming quarters. GTPL is very happy to have roped in Mr. Boman Irani, a versatile actor, as its brand ambassador in FY 21. The Indian wireline broadband sector is a sunrise industry with huge untapped growth potential. It accounts for meager 6% concentration of the total households in India, as against 80% penetration in Japan, 70% penetration in the Eurozone region, and 55% penetration in China. Additionally, the Propel of high-speed unlimited data packages offers an opportunity to connect homes with wireline broadband services. In the broadband segment, GTPL is growing at a much faster pace than the industry. We added 540,000 new home pass in FY 2021 and taking the total home pass as on March 31, 21 to 3.87 million. During the quarter, GTPL added 45,000 net broadband subscribers, taking the total net broadband subscribers as on March 31, 2021 to 635,000. The data consumption as on March 2021 stood at 212 GB per month, up by 31% YOY. The broadband ARPU for FY21 grew by 5% YOY to rupees 445 per month. GTPL looks forward to expanding its broadband business by leveraging its existing base of 10 plus million CATV subscribers and attracting new broadband subscribers through business partners. Let us now move to our financial performance. On our consolidated business, excluding EPC contract, during Q4 FY21, GTPL's consolidated revenue grew by 29% YOY to rupees 5991 million. The CATV subscription revenue stood at rupees 2665 million. The broadband revenue for the quarter grew by 77% YOY to rupees 817 million, led by a rise in subscribers due to the adoption of e-learning and work from home. EBITDA for the quarter surged by 27% YOY to rupees 1423 million with a margin of 23.8%. On our consolidated business, including EPC contract during Q4 FY21, GTPL's consolidated revenue stood at rupees 7877 million. EBITDA for the quarter increased by 25% YOY to rupees 1554 million with a margin of 19.7%. PAT for the quarter stood at rupees 571 million. Our EPC contract during Q4 21 reported the revenue, EBITDA and profit before tax of rupees 186 million, rupees 130 million and rupees 130 million respectively. On our standalone business, excluding EPC contract during Q4 FY21, the company's revenue grew by 23% YOY to rupees 3927 million. The company reported EBITDA of rupees 881 million with an EBITDA margin of 22.4%. On our standalone business, including EPC contract during Q4 FY21, the company's revenue surged by 16% YOY to rupees 5814 million. EBITDA stood at rupees 1012 million with an EBITDA margin of 17.4%. PAT for the quarter stood at rupees 410 million. This is all from my side. Thank you everyone for your attention. We can now begin with the question and answer session.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one. The first question is from the line of Dixit Doshi from Whitestone Financial Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations for the good numbers. The first question from my side is, if I look at the presentation on page number 31 and 32, where we have given the revenue breakup of consolidated revenue, there is this other income of 62 crore for the full year, which was 40 crore last year. And for the current quarter, it was around 39 crore. Can you mention what is this regarding?
You're talking about other income?
Yeah, other income.
Yeah.
So for the quarter, it was 39 crore and for full year, it was 63 crore. versus last year full year 39 crores.
Yeah. So on a year-to-year basis, other income is increased by to 223 million. It is mainly on account of one-off revenue recognized on account of merger of JV subsidiaries in FY21. And same, there is a one-off expenses accounted in FY21 of around rupees 239 million. So it's one-off revenue of 223 million on account of merger and expenses of 239 million. The expenses is coming under the admin expenses if you see in the presentation.
Okay, so net, even if this will not be there from next year onward, net it does not impact our profitability, right? Because both the things will not be there going forward, income and expense.
That's right. It's not going to impact the EBITDA.
Okay. Thank you. Secondly, sir, recently we appointed Mr. Bhavan Irani, and we, in our earlier interaction, we have indicated that we are planning to increase our marketing and ad spend since we are now pan-India presence. So obviously we must have done some marketing and advertisement in FY20 also. So 21 also. So incrementally next year, how much this cost can go up?
See, currently we have started in the March month, we have launched, and the 4 TVC has been launched in March month, which is still continuing right now. We are keeping it as on the revenue side, we are keeping it as around 0.5% of revenue as a budget for the marketing budget on this year.
Okay. And and for the full year, this much we are planning to spend 5% of revenue approach.
Yeah, 0.5% of the revenue, of total revenue.
As a 0.5% of revenue. Okay.
Yeah, so we have total revenue you can see, and you can calculate on that basis.
Okay. Secondly, sir, if I see the segment revenue breakup, in our broadband business, quarter on quarter revenues have went up from almost 78 crore to 82 crore. But our profitability in the segment has come down. So what was that? The profitability has come down from 15.4 crore to 11.8 crore.
Yeah. So what happened, actually, we have provided a one-off item in the broadband, which is almost around 3.3 crores. And because of that, you can see the same profitability as for the last quarter. Whereas this will be a one-off, so it will not actually be affected in the expenses side in future.
Okay. One last question, and then I'll join back in the queue. So, sir, in our earlier interaction, you have mentioned that as of now, majority of our broadband subscribers are through our own network, and going forward, we are planning to, tie up with almost 28,000 cable operators, and then they will provide our broadband service. So, anything you can share on that? How you are? Has that already started, and what kind of numbers they can add up in subscriber base?
तो बेसिकली बैकएंड उससे पूरा रेडी हो चुका है. ये प्रोसेस जो रोल आउट है वो फर्स्ट क्वार्टर में स्टार्ट होने जा रहा है.
Okay. So basically this year, yeah,
please go ahead.
Yeah, so basically this year we added almost 235,000 subscribers in internet. So how this will how much we can add in FY22 and going forward?
We are going to maintain our additions, which is like quarterly somewhere around 60K quarterly. We are going to maintain that in FY22 also. And just to clarify on the internet service on the segment results, if you see March 31, 2020, we were showing the ISP, internet service, as at around 5 crores, which has increased to 43 crores in 2021. quarter to quarter it is down, but year to year it is like 10 times more.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. That's it from my side. I'll join back in the queue. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tapasya Shastri from Equirus Equity. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, ma'am. You're audible.
Yeah. Okay. So sir, my first question is on cable TV. What was the ARPU that we had in this quarter for cable division?
Yeah, it's the ARPU remains same at 122 rupees. It's remained same on that.
Okay. And sir, this quarter the activation revenue was substantially lower on quarter-on-quarter basis. So any particular reason and any guidance you would want to give about how this would pan out in FY22?
Activation revenue has gone down because the deferred revenue of activation, which was there at the time of gap, which was continuing for 5 years, has come down.
Yeah.
We did a lot of seeding in FY16 and FY17 as the digitization was going on. Now, those deferred revenue is flushing out from the system. And in NTO, after NTO, as per the guidelines from the tariff, you are booking around 80% of activation revenue in the same year. Only 20% is getting deferred around. So that's why you are seeing that the activation revenue has gone down. Going forward, 1 year more it will go down and then it will be stabilized from FY23.
So the given about 18-20 crores is something that we could expect tapering forward going ahead also, right?
That's right. Because those deferred revenue is ending.
Okay. And sir, what if you see on a year-on-year basis, the subscribers or the paid subscribers in cable TV has been pretty flat for FY20 from FY20 to FY21. So now, what is our expectations for subscriber addition in FY22, and what are the key growth drivers here for subscribers?
Yeah, in FY21, there is a growth in the residential side, in the residential connections, but this has got affected due to the corporates, the hotels, corporates, hospitals, offices, small offices, and all, which has not come back totally because of the pandemic. And we are looking forward that in the normal scenario, this business will grow. The residentials are growing. If I will say that we have connected around 500,000 more residential houses in the pandemic also. We are looking forward that we will continue to do that. And the target is that in the next 3 years' time, we can have a 50% jump in our subscriber base over current.
Okay. And this would be what would be driving the 50% growth overall? Any key initiatives you want to talk about?
It is more of that we have entered around 6 states very recently, and there is a lot of potential on those 6 states where we are going to grow organically. There is a lot of opportunity for the consolidation. Already we are on the verge of doing the deals and all. Last year we have not did anything because of pandemic, but as the situation will improve going forward, we will do those deals and do the consolidation in the market.
Okay. And sir, when for broadband division, what I understand is that the home pass added during each quarter is coming down. At least FY21 we did not have too many home pass additions. So would this impact our subscriber addition in next year?
Yeah, because already as I explained in earlier calls also, that as you do the home pass for the FTTH, it takes around 12 to 18 months to cover that. This year, due to the pandemic, it is not very high. And Rajan sir, if you can take this going forward. No, Piyush, essentially, we have been maintaining earlier also, 25% penetration to home pass is achievable number. So if you see your home pass today and you do 25%, that obviously shows we still have a huge scope for growth. And in many markets where we have done FTTH upgradation, we have shown 25% penetration, which is achievable. Specifically in a market like Gujarat, where GTPL has taken a pole position in terms of creating a world-class fiber-to-home network, and practically nobody else is there. So this is quite possible to achieve. So I think in spite of limited number of home pass increase last year, we have our hands are full to maintain the same method momentum as Piyush rightly mentioned.
Okay. And sir, on the ARPU front, do we think that we'll be able to, increase our, like what I understand from previous calls is that our ARPU had increased because of upgradation of plans. But before that, our ARPU was pretty stagnant. So now, do we see now at a higher rate of 450 rupees, do we see any growth in ARPU possible in broadband? Are we planning to change our pricing in any way?
I think the current focus, is to create the market in Gujarat and other areas where GTPL has a very high market share in cable. So I think the focus is creating the market. As you rightly mentioned, as upgradation happened from MEN to FTTH, there is some ARPU increase which happened last year, and the same momentum will continue. Piyush, anything you want to add, please add.
No, it's perfect, sir.
So we expect 5% kind of growth in ARPU going ahead as well?
Yeah, that's what we are gearing for.
Okay. And sir, any update on launch of our hybrid box? I think we had planned to launch it in early Q4 21, right?
Yeah, we wanted to launch in Q4 hybrid box, but due to this pandemic, the production has been delayed. Now the boxes are ready and they are getting shipped right now when we are talking. We are expecting it to come to India by end of April. As it will come, we are ready with all our plans and all the backends and everything is ready. As the box will come, we will launch it very quickly.
And sir, last couple of questions. What is the capex target for maybe next 6 months or next 1 year? And if you could help us understand that we are net debt cash surplus now. So where how do we plan to deploy our excess funds?
Yeah. So this financial year, as I said, that we have increased our capex projections, and we did the 335 crore of capex in FY21. Out of that, 175 crore was in the broadband, and 160 crore was in the CATV. Next year, we are projecting that we are going to do around 400 crore of capex. Out of that, it's 225 to 230 crore is going to be in the broadband. Rest is going to be in the CATV side. All capex is going to be funded through internal accruals only. We are not looking forward for any fundraising at this point of time.
Okay, sir. And sir, how do we hold our excess cash right now? Like in what mode of what kind of interest?
So we are actually net debt free. So we are utilizing some of the credit limits which we are having with the banks, and the surplus funds we are investing in the very safe fund, which is either money market mutual funds, which we are exploring the options. But right now, it's all in the fixed deposits.
Okay. And what kind of returns do we have on that?
Returns we are generating in the range of around 6 to 7%.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anil Sarin from Centrum Portfolio Management Service. Please go ahead.
For the opportunity. First of all, congrats.
There's a bit of disturbance coming from your line.
Just a minute.
Anil, I'm sorry, I'll request you to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Swechha Jain from ANS Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Sir, I wanted to understand regarding the EPC contract. If you can just share an update as the contract is over, we've completed the laying of the lines.
So EPC contract is almost completed. Actually, the project was awarded amount close to around 1,000 crores, 1,000 crores 73, right? उसमें से close to around 1,038 crores हमने already value realize कर लिया, invoice कर दिया है. उसके सामने the total ग्राम पंचायत GP was targeted was close to around 3767. उसके सामने 3700 complete हो चुका है. So almost 98% project is completed. Because some permission issues from government sides and all, so 40-50 GP is pending है leak होने का. बाकी overall project is completed.
So can we expect around 40 crores revenue from EPC in Q1 for this year?
Yes.
And that would be like the last tranche?
Yes.
Okay.
Plus O&M. Yes.
Sorry, sir. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And so the O&M of this would start this year, right? And what kind of margins would we expect in the O&M, sir?
O&M revenue has started from quarter 3. This year we made around 27.4 crores of revenue, which is the part of our other operating income in FY21. And going forward, we are going to get around 57 crores in the next financial year. The margins is going to be around 20% in O&M business.
Okay. And so this 57 crores, I believe, is there for 3 years, right?
It is 3 plus 4 years.
Yeah.
3 plus 4. Okay. Right, sir. Sir, any write-backs that we are expecting? Or any write-backs that we had in Q4? I think in Q3 we had some write-backs.
No, in quarter 4 we didn't have any write-back.
Okay. And so now with respect to the this EPC contract, I believe strategically we are very well placed because we have laid down the fiber lines and everything. So in terms of revenue, strategically, how do you think this will help us, add to our revenue growth in the broadband segment, sir? Just want to understand, like a fair guidance that you can give.
So already O&M is starting. Now we are going to handle this whole fiber. These fibers are reaching to around 3,700 gram panchayats in villages and in the rural area. We already have presence in around 90% of those rural areas in CATV business. We already have infrastructures there. We just have to start the broadband business in those villages and those rural areas, which we are going to do in FY22. FY22 and FY23, I'm expanding on that side. And it's just that we have to upgrade the last mile to reach the home from the fiber. So that project is already, we have started upgrading the infrastructures and all in different places, and very soon we will going to start the whole rural broadband business.
Okay. And so just a follow-up on the additional, the previous participant's question regarding the hybrid box. So can you share some contours around it in terms of what kind of pricing and what kind of margins are we expecting from this launch of hybrid box? I believe we'll be launching them in May, right, sir?
Most probably right now the plan is to launch in the May. At the time when we will launch, we are going to do all the marketing activities and all. And I will say that we should disclose our strategy and pricing at that point of time when we are close to launch, or we can talk to one-to-one.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So just one last question. Now, with respect to again the surge in COVID cases. How do you see it going forward? This is going to impact our Q1 of FY22, or how do you see this impacting going forward?
See, currently, when the last year lockdown happened and all, the whole industry was not ready. Now they already have 1 year of experience working in the lockdown and pandemic. I will say all my business partners, my team, the whole management, they are more prepared this time on the search and taking the ground realities and everyone how to serve our customers and all. That's you can say more experienced, and we know the tools which we have to use on the ground for serving the customer as well as safety of the employees and safety of our customers.
Sure.
So that's way I will say that we are not looking forward that there is going to be a lot of impact on that way. Yeah, corporate subscribers, which some has come back, choose of corporate subscribers. We are going to see those going away, but we are hopeful that we will cover that with our home subscribers.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. That was helpful.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhupender Tiwari from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead. The line for the participant dropped. We move on to the next participant. The next question is from the line of Ritik Mohapatra from ICICI Bank. Please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. There are a couple of, I think, important questions that are left from what is not asked to me, because the situation on the ground must have changed a lot, and in terms of the per channel, what the consumer is actually spending, what the subscriber is actually spending on the channel, that amount might have gone up and down. And I see that your pay channel cost has significantly increased, even though the subscription revenue has gone up by only 5%. So on a per subscriber metric, can you tell me latest how much a consumer on an average is paying, how much is your revenue out of that, and how much you're passing on as content costs? And secondly, the carriage fee has also shown a substantial increase. How is that? I think one of the previous calls I heard that it will plateau, but how is that looking going forward? And again, on an on-the-ground basis, how are you negotiating this fee with your broadcasters? Is this a per subscriber charge, or is it a fixed charge? If you can throw some clarity on these two aspects.
Yeah, Ritik. So I will say that how we should read this is subscription plus carriage and placement minus pay channel cost. That is my gross margin. On that gross margin, we have to see the per sub. If you calculate on that way, you will find that there is no increase in pay channel cost, or gross margin has remained same. So in the nutshell, if I will say, whatever we were generating last year, we are generating more than that in this year. So the placement and marketing and pay channel has to be read together with the subscription. So that's the way you should look into the
Right. Okay. And sir, on the ground, is the MRP that you're getting from per subscriber, is that reducing? Are the consumers moving towards lower price packages or anything of that sort is happening? Do you see that?
No, we have not seen those movements that people are opting for the lower packages and all. As you see that we are having the lowest ARPU in the industry right now, and due to pandemic, we have not increased our ARPU. We have remained same in the whole year. So we have not seen those type of movements.
Fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Miten Lathia from Factual Capital Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Just on the debtors, what would be the EPC debtors as of March 21?
Yes. Yeah. EPC debtors total is 226 crore, Mitesh.
Great. And the 200 odd crores that we have outlined for the capex in the CATV business, is that primarily maintenance or is there growth built in, and what sort of underlying subscriber growth are we targeting in that 200 crore of cable capex?
No, the growth is built in on those capex. Maintenance is very small capex in overall CATV business. So we are going for the new expansion, acquisitions and everything, and there that capex has been built up.
Would you like to put an underlying subscriber number, just like you put it for broadband as 60,000 a quarter is what you were looking at? Would you like to put a number on the cable side as well for this underlying amount of capex that you are putting?
See, as I said earlier that we have got around 500,000 of home subscribers this year against what we lost in the corporate of around 500,000, and that's why my numbers are flat. So right now we are looking forward, if I talk about that, not the next year, but in 3 years' time or 2.5 to 3 years' time, we are looking forward that we will grow by around 50% in the subscriber base, which is going to be equally in the years.
Okay, and this 200 crore sort of run rate should help you get that 50% over 3 years that you're targeting?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Great. Wish you all the best and great performance. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vineet Manik from Karma Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Just one question from my side. We have seen a little bit elevated datas in this year's financial year ending versus last year. So any specific reason towards it or any collection issues are we facing on ground from the customer?
No issues on the subscription side and all. I think Mr. Bothra will explain.
So, Mr. Vineet, the total debtors receivables which are appearing in our financial is around 3,833 million, out of which actually 2,266 million belongs to the EPC project which we are undergoing. The rest of the debtors, mainly the carriage and placement is around 1,010 million, and the remaining is the ISP provider and some of the others. So the debtors has increased by around 1,047 million, out of which actually the EPC project itself showing an increase in debtors by 802 million, where actually the payment we are expecting in the month of April and May, and we are not anticipating any kind of PFDD on the EPC debtors. So this is the status as on date.
Not
Okay,
PFDD,
so
not
these
LD.
datas,
LD also, yes, we are not expecting on the EPC project further.
so these datas will taper down to the normalcy levels what we have seen close to March levels.
Yes, by September, most probably by Q2, you will see that it will be very reduced value as EPC project the debtors of EPC project will go.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ridhima Chandak from Roha Asset Managers. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, our CATV ARPU has decreased to 118 rupees per month. So any reason as against 122 rupees in Q3 FY21? So any reason behind that?
You are calculating it from active subs or paying subs?
Paying.
According to us, it is almost same. There is some adjustments in the subscription revenue because of small change in the accounting side on the deferred side, and that's why your calculation is coming under 18. Our ARPU has remained same as 122 rupees.
Okay.
So I will explain you the remark on that one to one. Some adjustment in the subscription revenue.
Okay. Okay. And on the broadband side, you said that profitability has reduced as one-off item, that is 3.3 crores. So what is that one-off item?
That 3.3 insurance claim. Yeah, there was an insurance claim in the broadband for which we have provided for right now.
Okay. 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 And at the end of FY20, what is our total STB seeded boxes?
STB seeded is around 10.8 million.
Okay. So it has increased overall from 10.61 million. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dixit Doshi from Whitestone Financial Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity again. Sir, first question is regarding this EPC receivables of 226 crore. So can we expect that most of this payment will be received in next couple of quarters, or are they going to do some retention money for couple of years or something like that?
I think almost 95% revenue before 38 May से पहले receive हो जाएगा. So right now the total our EPC projects का हमारा trade receivable अगर down the line government contracts है, it's close to around 226 crore है, जिसमें से close to around 200 crore May end तक ही almost receive हो जाएगा.
Okay. Okay. And sir, last question is, so when the new tariff order was implemented, compared to compared to our competitors, we have given the larger share of revenue to our LCOs, and we as a company have kept the lower share, and we were planning that going forward in 1 year or two, when the implementation will be over, we will increase our share. So it's been almost 2 years. So are we planning to increase our share from LCO in next 1 year or so?
So because of this pandemic, हमने अभी फिलहाल इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में भी कोई टारगेट नहीं लिया है डाउन द लाइन हमारा मार्जिन इंक्रीज करने का. यस, एज यू सेड, जैसे ही मार्केट सेटल होगा, सबसे कम मार्जिन हमारा एलसीओ के साइड रहा है, तो वहाँ पे भी काफी अपॉर्चुनिटी है. बट जैसे जैसे मार्केट सेटल होता जाएगा उसको हम इनकैश करेंगे.
Earlier, our plan was in FY21 to increase our ARPU, but due to the pandemic, we have not taken any steps. This year also, we started planning for that in February and March, but seeing the current situation, right now we are deliberating that we should go ahead with that or we should keep it in abeyance. So for right now, for this quarter, we are keeping it in abeyance.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. That's it from my side.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask question. The next question is from the line of Anil Sarin from Care Portfolio Management Service. Please go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations to the management, not only for this quarter, but also for the last many years. What I have seen amongst the other CATV providers, your performance really stands out. So congratulations on you on that. I just wanted to know about this carriage and placement fee. What is the longevity of it? I mean, when does it stop and how does it impact your economics?
Carriage and placement is going to remain same. As you see, the trend of carriage and placement is from last 10 to 12 years, and every year it gives us growth. So this is going to be there as we expect.
Okay. My second question is regarding the competitive threat from Jio. I'm aware of the shareholding, but if you can elaborate on, is there some kind of a demarcation? Is there, or is it free for all? How does it operate between yourselves and Jio?
So basically, Filal, yes, it's a good cut. Now Jio is also a partner, and it's a privilege कि overall काफी synergy उसका benefit हो रहा है, whether related to content, whether related to infrastructure, whether related to उनका जो भी expertise रहा है overall industry को लेके. फिलहाल ऐसा कोई डाउन द लाइन मार्केट में ऐसा कोई उस तरीके से कोई थ्रेट और कोई कंपटीशन जैसा माहौल नहीं. और मेजरली आप देखा जाए तो फिलहाल ज्यादातर उनका मार्केट इन अहमदाबाद, बड़ौदा, सूरत, गुजरात में रहा है. बाकी GTPL ऑलमोस्ट इन अहमदाबाद, गुजरात में ऑलमोस्ट मोर देन 100 टाउन्स में अवेलेबल है. और वहाँ पे आप देखा जाए तो मेजरली कॉम्पिटिटर इज BSNL. उससे ज्यादा कोई और ज्यादा बड़ा अभी कॉम्पिटिटर नहीं है.
Thank you. The next question is on CATV per se. You mentioned in your opening remarks that the penetration of CATV in India is yet only 55%. So what in your estimation is the near-term target? Can we reach 60% penetration, or what is theoretically possible? India is a poor country. So keeping those constraints in mind, what is the max we can go? And within that, if you could also enlighten me, what is the organized sector penetration and what is still held by small LCOs, which can be eventually, taken over by the organized sector? So 2 questions. What is the eventual penetration, at least in the next 2-3 years, that we can achieve? And second, within that, what is the organized sector market share?
Rajan sir, can you take this question?
No, essentially, as far as market is concerned, it has been growing. Around anything between 4 to 7%. Obviously, it varies from state to state. There are states like Odisha where it has grown higher. There are other states which has grown lower. So the growth continues. And Piyush, I think we need a separate call or in-person discussion to explain the market share between major MSOs and smaller MSOs, etc. So that probably you can have an offline discussion with the gentleman.
Okay. So the very last question from my side is that these days, even on your cell phones, we are getting good broadband connectivity and the prices are pretty low. Now with 5G around the corner, you see that as a threat to your wireline broadband ambitions?
No, so this question was being asked, frankly, 3 years back. I remember, even during IPO times, this question was being asked to us. And, even with the 4G, we have seen 20-30 Mbps speed being given, right? All of us have those plans. All of us are using mobiles. But again, if you're dealing at 400 to 500 rupees, pretty much unlimited data, with the speeds which vary from 50 to 100 Mbps, we have seen a huge amount of consumer traction. Okay. So wherever GTPL has done home pass upgradation or they've done ME into FTTH, we have seen a very natural demand which is getting built up. So I think key thing is both the things are complementary. High speed wireless will obviously give a lot of sampling. Okay. And once we get hooked to the content, we want to watch at a much longer period, which is where the whole home broadband kind of comes handy. And I think the key is the value which we give to the Indian consumer. If we keep on giving the right value, which today we are giving, in GTPL, if you see broadband EBITDA is very, very healthy. At such a healthy EBITDA, if you're able to manage this ARPU and still give nearly unlimited data at this kind of speed. So I think we just need to focus on making sure this kind of value equation and our EBITDA equation continues.
Okay. Thanks very much. If maybe if I can squeeze in one more for the full year fiscal 21, if I take out the EPC revenue as well as EPC cost, just to get a clearer picture of the underlying operations, I get a EBITDA margin, not counting other income. Other income 63 crores I've taken below that. I get an EBITDA margin of around 23%. And last year, using the same approach, I get an EBITDA margin of 24%. So there is a little bit of a decline this year relative to last year. However, both these years, if I take when I compare with, let us say, fiscal 19, fiscal 18, that time the EBITDA ratio, the EBITDA margin used to be 27, 26% odd. So if you can let me know why the margin is apparently coming down.
Yes, the margin, if you see, you are not taking other income above. If you take the other income above, it is going to be 25.4%. Last year, we did around 25.7%. There is a margin loss of around 0.3%, or you can say 0.7, 0.8% if you take out the other income. This is mainly due to the reduction in the activation income, which I explained, that the deferred revenue, which was there at the time of gap in FY16, FY17, when we did the digitization and seeded a lot of boxes, it's signed 2.5 million in a year, in both the years. Those are going out. So because of that, the activation income is coming down, and that is eating out the margin by 0.5% to 0.6%.
Okay. So then logically going forward, since broadband has higher margin and it is also growing at a faster rate relative to CATV, can one expect the overall margins to, head higher?
Yeah, that will happen. Next year, we are looking forward that margin will be flat, as we are going to gain from broadband and we are going to lose some from the activation. Going forward from FY23, you will find that margin will go up.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. As there are no further questions, I will now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thanks a lot for joining the call for GTPL earning call for annual FY21 and Q4 FY21. I wish that all you be safe and healthy. We will again meet in the Q1 of FY22 in the investor call. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Emkay Global Financial Services Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.